for Gateshead. Another bridge, this time at Peterborough North, is also an East Coast landmark, as 60139 Sea Eagle swings in. The station was a notorious bottleneck on the main line, because the platforms had to be entered at a snail's pace, as they were severely offset from the straight through of the main lines. As the locomotive prepares to depart, we can see the only obvious difference between the various batches of A1s, the form of the tender. Some engines had raised rivets on their tenders, whilst the others had flush-sided tenders. These latter were the locomotives built at Darlington, numbers 60130 to 60152, and show that Darlington, the old Northeastern Railway Works, still had a degree of independence from Doncaster, the Great Northern Works which had become the principal LNER works. Doncaster-built Kenilworth is the main locomotive featured in these detailed views of an engine undergoing its regular maintenance and preparation on shed. This shows what a dirty job maintaining the steam locomotive could be, and why British Railways, faced in the post-war era with a growing recruitment problem and increased manpower costs, had to dispose of the time-consuming steam engine in favour of electric and diesel locomotives. But what a shame. Peregrine looks a picture. She was a Darlington engine built in 1949. None was preserved, but a project has been launched to build from scratch the 50th locomotive of the class number 60163 Tornado. With a chassis from an A3 Pacific, will her tender be a riveted or non-riveted one? The A1s were a post-war development of the LNER Pacific theme, with the traditional layout of 3 cylinders. As a result of maintenance complications in the war, with the classic Gresley-derived valve gear for the middle cylinder, they had independent gear for each cylinder. Happily, the last members of the class were named after the principal railway companies which had formed the LNER, their nameplates sporting their crests. A.H. Peppercorn also produced a series of 6-foot 2-inch driving wheel diameter Pacifics, the A2 class, one of which, Blue Peter, survives today, as we'll see later. His predecessor, Thompson, had produced the first of these locomotives, intended as a group standard Pacific. Number 60523 Sun Castle is one of the 15 built new to his design. They were very ungainly machines, with their cylinders set back behind the front bogie, which made them look as if they'd been converted from locomotives with only one leading axle. In fact, many had. Thompson rebuilt Gresley's Class P2 282 express passenger engines to his A2 Pacific designation, and built the last 4 of the V2 262 engines as Pacifics. However, they could run fast. The most famous class of all has to be the A4 Pacifics, with their streamlined front ends. Although running like this, Miles Beaver would not find easy. The smokebox door was known as the Cod's Mouth, as it was really just a casing, revealing a true smokebox door within the streamlining. Sir Nigel Gresley's masterpiece was not just streamlined on the outside, but inside as well. Careful design ensuring that this update of the original A3 design was capable of high speeds. Internal steam passages were gas-flowed, whereas previous designers had paid scant attention to these aspects, with many right-angled joints in steam passages. The locomotives were built to run high-speed non-stop expresses, and to this end many were fitted with corridor tenders to enable them to work through to Scotland, changing crews during the run. These views are in Scotland, which is where the engines enjoyed a brief Indian summer in the early to mid-1960s, after they'd been displaced on the East Coast main line by diesel.